Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of the Natasha Denona week. I did a poll and you guys wanted for me to do the Natasha Denona week, and that means that I'm gonna be pulling out all palettes, ranking, reviewing, and using palettes from Natasha Denona. But since today I was planning to film the intro of this Natasha Denona week, and a huge surprise happened, which was that the Natasha Denona My Dream collection, the palette, the cheek palette, and the lipsticks were delivered to me. I decided that I was gonna start the week creating this look using other products that are not Natasha Denona, but that I wanted to do a first impression and review on. It's perfect because I created this look. I have thoughts on the palette. I will swatch it for you and I will show it to you. In the next few days, I will be doing also comparisons for this palette within my collection, and I'm planning on also creating my Jordana Dream palette with Natasha Denona eyeshadows, and I think a lot of the shadows are gonna come from this Natasha Denona My Dream palette. If you want to see the first day on Natasha Denona week, which is a first impressions on the Natasha Denona My Dream collection, and then also a few products like the Mary Bronzer, the Box on Plum Shot, and also first impressions of the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, then just keep on watching. You guys, before we start with the tutorial, I will leave every single product that I mentioned on this video linked below, and if you want to support my channel, always make the purchase through my link. That will give me a small commission. It will help my channel grow because the things that I purchase for my channel nowadays, since I'm in a no buy, have to come from my channel because I don't want to just overspend when I don't have to, but I wanted to review this collection for you guys. Before I tell you my thoughts on all the products, let's just go ahead and see the swatches of the Natasha Denona My Dream palette and also the swatches from the cheek trio from my Dream collection. So for foundation, I went in with the Merit Perfecting Complexion Stick in the shade Bisque. This is a little bit too dark for me, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm just dragging it to my neck as well. It's just the foundation that I'm wearing today. This has light to medium coverage, and I really like it. I have it in a project pan because I want to finish it before it goes bad, and I have another shade that works better for me. To prep my lips for the lipstick that I'm going to be wearing today, I'm going to go in with the Box on Plum Shot Collagen Infused Lip Serum in the shade Flush. This was sent to me by Boxum, and I've been using the clear one, but I wanted to show you one of the newer shades. This is good for lip prep, and I like this type of product on an everyday basis. This makes my lips a little bit more plumper, and then it also makes them flush a little bit. For concealer, I'm going in with this little sample. This is the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, and I have mine in the shade 4 Pale, and this one clinically proven results, conceals, corrects, brightens, and this one comes with a little doe foot applicator. I wanted to try it, but I didn't want to buy it if I don't have to, since I have so many concealers, and I'm trying to be faithful to my no buy and just buy the products that I really want to with the points that I have on my makeup rehab. So I want to see how it works because everyone seems to love it. This feels really creamy. I'm gonna blend one side with my Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty Brush A506, and then on the other side I'm gonna blend it with a beauty sponge. Okay, so it looks pretty hydrating under the eyes, and you can see that it blended perfectly with a brush. I'm gonna see how it looks when I blend it with the sponge. I love the way that it reflects light because actually on camera, on my computer right now, I can't see too much of my dark circles, but in person I can actually see a little bit peeking through. So it's not full coverage. It says that it's a medium buildable coverage. It's a true medium. I don't think this is a full coverage by any means, but I think it's hydrating. And if you have a lot of wrinkles under your eyes or dryness or mature skin, I think this concealer will be good for you. I have here the Merit Bronze Balm, and this is supposed to be the easiest bronzer in the world. I have the shade Cyan. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's the darkest shade that I have. And I have also the shade Clay. This is not the lightest one that they have. I think it's the second to lightest. And this one I think is the fourth shade. Shade number 2 and shade number 4 basically. And this is a sheer bronzer. You can see here the different shades. This is the lighter one and this is the darker one. When you put them on the skin, sometimes I can't tell the difference right away, but when I blend them, Clay, it's a little bit more cool tone, and then Cyan, more on the warmer side. So you can see this is Clay, and then this is Cyan. I'm going to apply both of them so that way you can see both colors on my face. I could go either or. With Clay, I have to be less careful, but this bronzer blends like a dream. I thought to compare it to the gel one that I have from Milimaska, but this is not gel. This is definitely a balm. Even though it's sheer, this works beautifully on top of foundation. It's not one of those products that can only work on bare skin. For this bronzer, I'm going to be using the Sephora Flawless Airbrush. So I'm using the shade Clay on this side. I've been using the Merit bronzer for a few days now, every day. And I find it to be super easy to work with. If you're afraid to work with creams, this is a good one. I can't tell you if it's long lasting because I haven't been wearing makeup for a long period of time. And most of the time I usually use a powder bronzer on top. But I will be testing it out today as the only bronzer on my face. And I will pin a comment down below to tell you if it lasted all day or not. Perfection of a bronzer, I want to compare it to the Makeup by Mario one. I actually ordered that a while ago. As soon as I get that, I'm gonna compare it with this one. The reason why I'm filming this video is because of the Natasha Denona My Dream collection, and I'm gonna be using the Glow Cream Base, which is this beautiful product right here, first before setting my foundation. And then I'm actually gonna use the cream blush on top of powder because I always want to see how they work on top of powder. Maybe I will also use the Glow Cream Base on top of powder to see how that performs. So I'm using my finger, and this is so glowy and beautiful, and I'm applying it to the highest point of my face. You guys, now I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna set my base and everything that I've done with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is, you guys know, my holy grail. And then another holy grail, I'm gonna do my brows with the Benefit Precisely My Brow in the shade 4.5, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is interesting because every time I use cream highlighter and I put a powder on top of it, it usually erases the effect of the cream highlighter. And this is the Glow Cream Base, and I already set it, and you can see the difference. Of course, this looks more glowy, but this one is still peeking through. You could use it underneath powder if you're oily like me, or if you live in a humid weather and you want it to stay put, and it will still show through. And then you can apply the powder highlighter on top. Okay, you guys, so brows done. I'm gonna go in again with the Glow Cream Base on top of powder. Okay, didn't remove the powder. It's not looking cakey. And now I'm gonna go in with a small brush by Real Techniques. This is the setting brush. And I'm gonna grab the powder highlighter right here. I'm gonna apply it on top of the Glow Cream Base. You guys, this is super blinding. So this is with the powder on top, and this is without the powder on top. So you could go subtle or you could go ham with it. Now I'm going in with the blush, and I'm using a denser brush. Tinted a cream, but I know that the Natasha Denona blushes are more on the cream to powder finish than a dewy cream. That's why I love them so much. Okay, so you can see that this one didn't skip and it blended like a dream. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna go in with Blackest Black as my first shade. I can't wait to try it out. I'm not gonna do a transition. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna start with the black, and I'm using the Refer number 12 brush. To blend it, I'm using the Wayne Goss number 18. So I'm grabbing a little bit with that number 18 brush, and I'm gonna just build it and blend it at the same time. Now with a Sigma shader brush, I don't remember the name of this one. I think it's the E52. I'm gonna pack it on to make it the Blackest Black. It's looking rough, but that's the way it is when you start with black. Now I'm gonna grab the shade Edgy, which is a cream to powder right here. And this reminds me a ton of the Cranberry palette. I'm gonna do a video with comparisons of the eyeshadows that I think within the Natasha Denona collection and outside of it are similar to this palette, because I've thought of a few when watching this palette release, but haven't really put it to the test since I just got it today. So Edgy with the same Sigma E50 something brush, 52 I think. Okay, so this color is way lighter than I was expecting, so I'm gonna use Aspiration, which is this deep brown with a hint of purple, and I'm gonna put it on top of it. To blend out the edges, I'm gonna use Familia, which is a warm brown, and that's the way that I love to do a smoky eye, either all black or just with a hint of warmth underneath as a transition. I'm gonna see how this works since I'm doing the transition on top of the blackest black. Okay, you guys, this is looking a little crazy right now, so I'm gonna go in with Vision, which is the shade that I want to put on top of the darker color, and I thought this was gonna be way darker than it was. This looks more on the fuchsia side, and I saw that on the reviews, but I didn't expect it to be so bright. I wanted it to be more subdued. So I'm gonna go in with Vision, which is the Trio Chrome, and I'm gonna apply it on top of the black. And I don't know if I'm gonna go all over it. I'm gonna just do the first third of my eye. Let's see how it does. Okay, this is super buttery, and it looks so beautiful on top of the black. It has fallout, and I'm gonna talk about that later, but I just wanna be done with the look. I'm gonna repeat the steps on my lower lash line without adding Edgy. I'm just gonna go in with Blackest Black, Aspiration, and Familia. And then to finish the look, I'm gonna go in with Thrill, which looks like a good inner corner highlight. And if that doesn't work, I will go with Vision on top of it and use that as an inner corner shade, even though it's not gonna be a highlight. Okay, this is beautiful. For my eyeliner, I'm gonna go in with my Rimmel Scandalize and then my Monsieur Big mascara, and I'll be right back. So this is the eye look completed. I had to use the Charlotte Tilbury concealer and a synthetic brush to clean up underneath my eyes because I was actually having some smudging from the black eyeshadow, and that tends to be normal. I'm just used to Spot, which is more on the cream to powder side, and it doesn't have any fallout whatsoever. You guys saw me struggle because I made a mistake with an eyeshadow that I thought was gonna be something different, and then I had also some other issues that I wasn't expecting to have, but I think it was the application method. I'm gonna keep using the palette, but I will give you my final thoughts when I finish the look. So I'm gonna do for the lipstick the Natasha Denona My Dream lipstick in the shade Natasha. So this is supposed to be the same shade but a different cleaner formula. I'm gonna apply the lipstick on its own, and then I'm gonna go in with a lip liner because that's what I would do for a nude lipstick such as this one. Let's see how it does, because I think it's gonna be too pale for me, but if it's not too pale, I will leave it on its own, but if it's too pale, I will use a lip liner to give it some dimension. Okay, you guys, so I have a few thoughts on the products that I used today, including the Natasha Denona palette, which is the main thing since this is the Natasha Denona week day 1. And I wanted to talk about these products because I'm impressed by some and then I'm not so sure about others. Okay, you guys, so the first new product that I tried is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. This is nice. I just don't know if it's gonna be the one that I choose over the Too Faced one or the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This has a radiant finish to it and it's lovely to see. I think it's better for mature skin. I'm gonna keep trying it out, but I think it may be too hydrating for me. I need to let you guys know and update you in another video when I have used it more. I don't want to bash it if I have used it only for half an hour. So far it's nice, but I have the feeling that it's gonna start to smudge a little bit, or it's gonna make my eyeshadow smudge. So let's just see how that one works. I love that it's hydrating. I love how creamy and blendable it is. I love that it's a purely medium coverage, and I've been more into lighter to medium coverage all over my face. A good one so far, but I will have to keep you guys updated. For the Buxom Plum Shot, The only bad thing that I have to say about this is that the shades truly do not matter. If you want to have a shade that has more of a pinky tone to it, it won't translate on the lips, then go ahead and purchase any shade that you want. This will give you a plump without making your lips hurt. That's what I find that happens with it. It doesn't plump your lips as much as the Too Faced Lip Extreme Injection, which is actually my favorite. So I would choose that one over this one. But this for an everyday, just to plump your lips, give them collagen, or just to hydrate them a little bit before lipstick, I find it to be nice, or even before lip balm. I can use this instead of a lip balm even, because it's that sheer. But I would put a tinted lip balm or a tint on top just to give my lips some color. Then this is a star product for me, the Merit Bronzer. I would choose any of the shades. I love Clay for a more natural look, and then Cyan or Cyan, however you pronounce it, I prefer it for a more glam look. That's why I evened it out today. But it's the only bronzer that I'm wearing on my face, and I find it to be extremely easy to blend. I thought it wasn't gonna be good enough for this glam look, but it's actually pretty good. If I was gonna go out at night, I would apply powder bronzer on top, because that's what I do. I want something to be extremely long lasting, and cream products tend to last less on my oily skin and on this humid weather. But I love this. I have nothing negative to say about this product. I think if you're into bronzer and you want to try cream bronzer and want something easy, this is the way to start, because this is as easy as it could get. Then for the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio, I wish every single Natasha Denona face palette had a cream blush like this one. It doesn't have to be the shade. I loved the one from the In Bloom palette, but I wasn't able to finish it because the shade was too deep for me. But this beautiful blush is the exact same formula as the Love Cheek Duo that I have, and I love that so much. She should have one blush on each of the palettes, accompanied with a glow cream base that she always puts on those palettes. So for me, those cream blushes are the easiest formula of cream blush that I've ever tried, because they can go on top of powder and blend like a dream on top of it, and you can build them up super easy. The glow cream base, I've finished one from the In Bloom palette, and then I keep panning the one in the tan palette. I think it's a star product from her. I don't know why. Maybe it's the foundation, but when I applied it on top, then I was looking it up close. I know I told you guys it didn't. It's looking a little bit cakey on top of the powder. I have to also only apply it on top of powder without having any other product underneath it, to see if I was doing something wrong. Or maybe when I was applying the Dream Glow, which is the powder highlighter, I rubbed on too harsh and it started to move around. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the Merit foundation. But up until now, I wouldn't do the glow cream base on top of powder if I already did it underneath, because it started to look cakey, and I don't like that. It doesn't look cakey on camera, and it doesn't even look cakey if I'm looking from right here. But if I look up close, it has little batches of skin that have no product. That I actually removed part of my foundation, so I don't know if it's the foundation. I will keep you guys updated. But I love this palette. I think I would finish it for sure, because this one has the perfect blush. I wish Natasha Denona would come up with a bronzer on this formula and on this formula as a duo. I would buy it immediately. She could have a powder one, a cream one like this one, a sheer one, and then a cream one like this one, and I would go crazy for a bronzing palette. Maybe next summer, who knows. And I also love the packaging, the nude packaging, and then this one, and then the spots of paint. It makes me think of an artist, and that's who she is, so I really love it. For the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, I'm actually inspired to remove a few shades from this palette, do the swatches that I'm gonna do, but maybe that will be one of the videos for this week. But I want to create my dream palette, so the Jordana Dream palette with Natasha Denona eyeshadows, and this palette has most of the shades that I would add. but a few of them I would switch up. I'm gonna see if I can do that and do a Franken palette with my Dream palette by Jordana. But this palette, it's beautiful. I haven't used all of the shades, but I'm planning on doing so. The ones that I use, mostly Vision, it's so beautiful. I have to compare it to the one on the Trio Chrome, but this is so stunning, and with a black base underneath, it's even more beautiful. The Blackest Black is not quite up there with Spot, or I think I would use Spot as a base and then the Blackest Black on top, because I find that Spot is the easiest black eyeshadow that I've had to work with since forever. Thrill is a beautiful inner corner highlight. The pigmentation is on point. The blendability is on point. Even though I struggled to blend the eyeshadows, it's because I put an eyeshadow that I didn't really want on my look, and then I had to cover it up and it started to peek through. I messed up because of my choices and because I was just getting to know the palette, and I don't think that Edgy is a bad shade. It just wasn't for the look that I wanted to create today. I think this palette overall has the same Natasha Denona formula so far from the 5 shades that I used today, but I'm gonna keep using it, and one of my videos for this week is gonna be comparison and swatches using this palette with other palettes. And another video, I'm thinking about creating more looks with this Natasha Denona palette. I was always wanting for Natasha Denona to come up with another eyeshadow palette that would come with a black, because I know a lot of people do not like black on their eyeshadow palettes and they think that one in their entire collection is enough. For me, I wish every single eyeshadow palette came with a black, because I finish black eyeshadow. To line, to deepen, to smoke out a look, it doesn't matter what shade I'm using, I usually go for a black. So I know this palette won't disappoint me. This is just the first impressions though. I will be completely honest as always, but you guys know that Natasha Denona makes my favorite formula of eyeshadows. And for the lipstick, you guys, I thought this was gonna be more matte and it's super hydrating, so I had a gloss that I was gonna put on top, but I didn't need to, and I had a liner that I was gonna put to overline my lips or to deepen it up, because I thought this was gonna be too light, but it's the perfect nude for me. This is better than Amorosa, which is the only other Natasha Denona lipstick that I own. I know this will be on my favorites for sure, because it's the type of lipstick that I wear on an everyday basis, and I will compare it to other lipsticks, MAC lipsticks and Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks that I love that are nudes. I don't think I have a dupe for it. I will check, but this is the perfect tone that I would wear on an everyday basis, and I love that it's not matte, because it feels more everyday-ish if it's not a matte lipstick, if that makes any sense. So stay tuned for more videos. If you love this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, as an emoji today, let's just leave something related to Dream because of the Natasha Denona Dream collection. And that's it, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another Natasha Denona week video.